When you look at Apple, in the satellite features, are they only going to be used for emergencies, or could it actually expand its reach significantly?
Yeah, I think for now it's going to be emergencies. And this is something Apple, they've been working on within Cupertino for the last 3 to 4 years. But I think in future iterations, of the iPhone, you could see this expanded. But I think what it does, along with some of the chip advancements that they made, it just shows the technology innovation that's going on within Cupertino. And it's been one of the keys to success in terms of the last few years.
Dan, $2.5 trillion market cap. What's going to be the next big catalyst for Apple?
Yeah, look, we believe this is, when I look out the next 6, 9 months, this will be a $3 trillion market cap. And, to your question, I think it's really about this elongated super cycle. In terms of iPhone 13, which we expect to launch third week in September, we think that's up double digits from iPhone 12. Because of the massive pent-up demand that's happened, the street continues to underestimate it. You combine that with the services business, which we think is worth about $1.4 trillion, gets us to a $3 trillion market cap for Apple. And I think, many have sort of said innovations in the rearview mirror. I think to the contrary, a massive renaissance of growth going on in Cupertino.
I mean, I love the renaissance of growth idea, but Dan, don't regulators kind of sit up and take notice?
Yeah, I mean, look, no doubt you see what's happening in Korea and also across the Beltway in Brussels. And you're going to see regulatory spotlight on big tech. It's not going away, and Apple's front and center, especially on the App Store. But I think from an investor perspective right now, it's the lack of consensus that continues to view this as sort of more fines rather than regulatory changes that could be business model changes. And when you look at Apple, it's really about that App Store, that 30% fee. That's the crown jewel within Apple. And I think you could see some pressure on that over time. But for right now, investors are sort of viewing this as a contained risk with a green light to own not just Apple, but broader tech, given our view of 16.5 NASDAQ in terms of year end.
Okay, so what about Google, or I should say Alphabet, touching an all-time high yesterday? We're looking at the stock potentially up for 8 straight monthly advance. You got that recovery in digital ads. This is a huge move. Same kind of question, what kind of upside is there? And I'm wondering, where are the laggards of these big tech guys that can really see some more upside?
Yeah, I mean, you've just seen just the tidal wave of growth in terms of what we've seen on digital advertising. And I think for Alphabet and Google, I think the other thing, too, is what's happening on cloud. GCP, in terms of Google's cloud initiative, really starting to gain more and more traction as part of this $1 trillion cloud opportunity, a bit of a re-rating on the stock. But I think when you look at what's happened in terms of broader tech, look, there's names like an IBM that has not participated at seeing a renaissance of growth on cloud. And to me, the best opportunity continues to be cybersecurity. I think we are just seeing, unlike anything I've seen in terms of the growth over the last 20 years, names like Zscaler, CyberArk, Tenable, Telos is the federal opportunity. I think cybersecurity is going to be a significant outperformer the rest of the year.
Dan, is there a common theme for all of these, stocks that makes a difference between the companies that actually give out data or, scour your messages or scours your photos, even if it's for, doing good like Apple is suggesting it would, and the ones that don't do that?
Yeah, look, right now it's a balancing act between privacy as well as what we're seeing on just in terms of shifts to the cloud. But right now, what I really want to be playing, what we've been telling investors, is just this digital transformation that we're seeing across consumer and enterprise. So, of course, on the broader shift to cloud, we view this as a $2 trillion market opportunity over the next decade. And what's also happening now is that investors that were playing Chinese tech names, they're all rotating to U.S. tech stocks, just given the scale and scope of the crackdown in Beijing. That's just been another tailwind for U.S. tech stocks.
Real quick, Dan, before we let you go, if we have some kind of taper tantrum, higher yields, does that affect the thesis?
I think those are just opportunities. That's been our thesis for the last 2 years. We're in the middle innings of a bull cycle for tech. Anything happen, you continue to own the Microsofts, the Apples, the FANG name, cybersecurity.